Alright, so the throw line, as you can see, is pre-rigged onto the little ring. Here's the big one. Pre-rigged onto the little ring. I'll set that off to the side. Got that set over the branch that I want. Alright, so we have the little ring again is pre-rigged onto the throw line. You can see that, or you might be able to see the throw line is going over the branch at the top, and then I have the throw bag free hanging right here. I'm going to stick the throw bag through the big ring, and whoops. Alright, let me get that nice and clean so that you guys can follow along. Alright, so we're going to take the throw bag through the big ring. I'm going to clip this carabiner to the throw bag itself, not to the ring. That's just hanging on the throw bag. And now I'm going to pull on this end of the throw line, and as I pull down on that end, it pulls the throw bag up. And when we get this up to the top, at this point, I'm going to give it a nice little flip, and it's going to set the friction saver over the branch. I can let the throw line go, and it brings the throw weight back down to me. So now I have the friction saver at the top going over the branch that's going to be my tie-in point, and the throw line is running through the two rings. So at this point I can take off the carabiner. I'll need that later. I can take off the throw bag, and I'll grab my climbing line. This is an 11mm rope. It is not a standard kern mantle rope that most rock climbers are used to. It's a double braid rope made of polyester, not nylon, and the cover and core share each half the load. Hi guys! Go ahead. It's my landlords. So the cover and core sharing the rope allows me to put an eye splice at the very end of it. So rather than having a knot, a bowline, or a figure 8 knot. Let's go ahead and get it set. I will attach the throw line to the eye splice, starting with a pile hitch, and you'll have to Google that one if you don't know it, and I'll follow it up with a couple of half hitches here. 1, 2, let me do one more right at the very end of the eye splice. And these allow me to get a knot right very close to the end. I will pull this up. I think you can see that now, that the throw line is attached to the end of the climbing line, and now it's going to go through the big ring first, through the little ring, and back down. So now we have the throw line. It's disconnected. Let me undo this pile hitch here. Slide that off, and we'll put the throw line away. We're going to need this later. And where did the throw line go? Right here. So I'll just leave that there for now. And now to set up the actual climbing system. We put one carabiner. These are DMM oval carabiners. This rope is my friction hitch. In rock climbing terms, this would be like my belay system, my self-belay system. And I'm going to tie a Valdetain truss, a VT hitch here. Oops. Followed by a couple of wraps. Alright. And then wait for the car. So I'm using a hitch climber pulley. It's a kind of a neat pulley that allows 3 connections into it. A lot of tree climbers use a lot of different systems for this. Not everybody uses the hitch climber pulley. Not everyone uses the Valdetain truss. But if they're using a double rope system, which is what we have here, doubled rope, it's folded in half, it's always some variation of this. So now I can clip the carabiner to the big ring, and by pulling down on the tail end of my rope, it pulls up on the friction hitch. And got a nice wobbly tie-in point up there, but I can sit in this system. Right now, almost all my weight is in the rope, and the friction hitch holds on to the tail end of my rope. It would be just like a belay device, except now the top rope climber is me, and the belayer is also me. And by pulling down on the tail end, or I guess pulling out on the tail end, it advances my belay device, my friction hitch. The great thing about this setup is that I can completely let go of it, and it's going to hold me there, which allows me to cut a branch or, you know, reset my lines, whatever I have to do. If I need to, let's envision I'm standing on a limb right now, I can still rotate over here, grab what I need to grab, come over to this side, and I have that full mobility. When I need to come down, I grab my friction hitch and I pull down, and it'll let me down. And when I let go, it holds me there. So you can see in the setup that the rings serve a very important function. Alternatively, I could use no ring and clip straight into the bridge. And from a rigging perspective, you always want to minimize unnecessary links to your chain of rigging. But watch, when I do that, it turns my climbing system sideways. So now instead of pulling out, I have to pull sideways. And that's fine right here when I'm standing here, but if I'm hanging this way, it could be awkward to grab the rope and pull outwards. So most climbers like to have it turned. We use the term a phase. We like to have it turned one extra phase so that it's away from you. So after all that is done, let's say we're done with our climb, and now it is time to take the friction saver out of the tree. You're on the ground, you don't want to have to climb up there to get it. So the rings allow us to get the stuff down without having to climb back up. There are a bunch of different ways to do this. Most people will run their rings opposite of what I just did. We went through the little ring first and then the big ring. It went through the big ring first and then the little ring. So a lot of people could just tie a knot into the end right here. You pull down on this end, that knot will fit through the big ring, get jammed in the little ring, and pull it out of the tree. I have mine running in an opposite direction because I don't want the friction saver flying around at the top. So I'll go ahead and put my pile hitch back on here. I'm basically going to reverse the setup. I pull the rope out. So now I have the rings back in place, but this time I don't need I have the throw line back in place. This time I don't need the carabiner that I clipped on before. I'm going to put the throw weight back on. It's going to go up, and I'll let you guys see this. It's going to go up through the big ring, and it'll get caught in the little ring, and that'll pull everything down. So you can see right here, and I'll give it just a little yank. Whoops, just a little yank, and bam, that pulls it out. So here we are, back again with the throw line pre-rigged onto the friction saver through the little ring, and I can take that put that straight back into the box. And I'm ready to go climb my next tree. I think that you guys can see, these are just a couple examples on the harness and on the friction saver, places where those big and little rings come in very handy to the everyday tree climber. These are just a couple of the examples. There are dozens more where we'll use these, and they are an integral part of our climbing system, and it's something that we need to be able to clip in multiple directions without fear of it ever clipping open or, heaven forbid, breaking apart.